I went on a kick last year where I watched about this time last year I watched a lot of baseball movies leading up to the start of the season last year.
What was a favorite movie?
Maybe The Natural, of like the one that I hadn't seen before that I was like watching for the first time.
Yeah, I like that. It doesn't have the Hollywood ending. It has the book doesn't have the Hollywood ending. So you read the book and like, oh, the tragic flaw gets the most of him. And then the movie, different, more realistic. But
is that a Lupika book?
No. Malmud.
Okay.
Yeah, I before, when I was teaching sports lit, we'd get right to the end and I would have them, we'd watch the end in the class. I'd say, okay, read the ending and then be ready for a quiz tomorrow. And then I was able to tell who read and who didn't, because in the movie he strikes out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the kids and I say in the book at the end, what happens? They're like, oh, he hits a home run. I'm like, nope, didn't get it right.
Good proofread.
Other sport movies? We got baseball starting up. What do you guys have? Major League.
Very high. That was probably the first baseball movie I watched. Probably too young, like at a sleepover, like 12 or 13. That's probably right around that age where you can start to, I mean, a lot of the jokes go over your head, but it's funny because it's very rated R and there's a lot of good humor in there. Yeah,
it's got what you want from a good movie, and then you watch it again when you're older, and you kind of get a little bit more of it.
Also funny that it's about the Indians who don't exist anymore, right. So it's like very, very dated in a lot of different ways.
Yeah,
there's some cool shots of Jacobs Field in that one. The old Jake, I forgot, it's like Progressive Field now too. Everything's changed from that movie, but they actually use the stadium really well. That's the one thing I remember from Major League is like the visuals are actually stand the test of time.
Yeah, the spring training shots were done at High Corbett Field in Tucson. So when we go to Arizona Wildcat games, it was like, I remember the front facade there and whatnot. But yeah, it's a great.
I know this place.
Movie. Yeah. What other baseball movies you guys got?
I guess one that's similar to Major League, what Kody just said. I rewatched Bad News Bears yesterday. I hadn't seen it since I was like 13 with my dad.
Walter?
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
The Walter Matthau, the original one.
Yeah. A lot of stuff. That I did not realize when I was 13.
Yeah, Billy Bob's really good too. That's a great role for him. Once I saw
in the remake, Richard Linklater.
Oh man, that's a great one. But Walter Matthau also very good too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who the hell you are, but sit down and shut up. Just great. Like right 5 minutes in, and the movie just starts too. That's what I loved about it. There's like one opening logo, and it just
yeah.
And we just don't get that anymore. We're like, oh wait, I'm actually watching the movie. And it felt to me, it's obviously exaggerated and crazy, but I coached the low league team last year with Torrey Korn, and that's a lot what it felt like sometimes, where he's asking the kids, hey, just what position do you want to play?
Yeah,
just go, okay, you're shortstop, great.
Yeah.
And then just figuring out.
And the differing skill and focus level of all the kids is like, so you get kids that are super locked in and really care about it, and then other kids that are just there because their mom signed them up or something. And it feels very Bad News Bears.
Well, that's what's great about it. You look at all the stats now about kids quitting sports before they get to age 14, 15. Everything is so serious, so organized, and you have to be a prodigy. You're already working on your NIL deal by the time you're in high school. So just back to the day of, this is an activity during the summer. Who knows who the coach is going to be? Obviously, it's a little bit over the top, but just something refreshing about watching that in that time period of what baseball or Little League used to be.
I liked him sitting up in the tree with the one kid, Hank Aaron committed 42 errors his first year in Little League. And now look at him. He's your favorite player, right? And just all the things that you use to motivate the kids. Or like one kid last year, he wouldn't swing his bat on my Little League team, but then he told me that he liked unsheathing it like a katana. And I said, okay, you can swing your bat like that, as long as you just swing at this point. Because his parents want him to swing all this. He'd never swing the bat. So he goes out there, swung while the pitcher was still warming up, but he unsheathed his katana and swung. And so that was a good motivating factor for the kid.
Well, you couldn't use Hank Aaron as an example now because no kid would know who you're talking about.
Yeah, our idea of sports, even the kids who are on the baseball team now don't really watch it. A lot of basketball players don't watch it. You watch the clips, you watch whatever's on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, but you don't watch full games, so you don't get like every bit of it. Do you you guys both watch a lot of baseball, right? Or
definitely. A lot of baseball. I don't really watch the NBA game to game. I haven't for a while, but baseball, every day.
It's a bummer with the rule shifts in MLB because I think we were both talking about the ABS, the automatic ball strike system the other day. They've done so much to improve our life as fans, but then they're trying to get that younger audience. And yet some 5-year-old doesn't care if the games are 2 hours, 45 minutes as opposed to 3 hours. Like they don't have the wherewithal to sit for that long.
What do you think the limits of using AI in sports is? Do you think there's like this, it's going to be automatic umping? Are we not going to have umpires back there? Are they going to be making, like, where are we going with this? What are the limits of this?
I don't think you'll ever have actual automatic umpires. I just can't. That's not baseball anymore. ABS, I think, is as far as you can go with that.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a robot back there calling plays at home plate or safing out at first or whatever. Like, I don't know. That's just really tough. And that, to me, feels like a different game. That feels like something they'd be doing in like Japan or Korea or something where, I don't know, they just try different stuff over there.
Yeah. Which is cool. Like, you can get some good innovation that way, but.
Or they try it in single A. That's one thing I love about baseball. They always try it in single A, double A, triple A, and it really goes through that proofing system before it gets in what we're actually watching.
I like the human element as far as umpiring goes.
Yeah, everyone had to deal with it until the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I do feel bad for that woman umpire who made the first call, and it was a ball, and she called it a strike. It's like, you're in your head, you want to have that enthusiastic strike call, because that's kind of, it's a big part of the game. So if you have an iconic or the first pitch by a woman or a call by a woman umpire, you want it to be authoritative, you want it to be strong, but it was a ball and she called it a strike. And
the welcome to the show.
Yeah, it was a terrible call, but you just put up in this terrible situation. Yeah, I don't like what it does to second guessing the slow motion replays of everything too in every other sport. It's like, man, how do you not see that? It's clearly going off that guy's fingernail. It's like, well, yeah, but the judgment calls used to be part of it. Yeah, so it's, I don't know, I guess I don't want to be anti-technology, but.
Well, ABS kind of helps you with that, though, because you'll see that the call, even though it was overturned, was like 1/10 of an inch off.
Yeah.
And you can't fault an umpire for missing a call for 1/10 of an inch.
Yeah.
But it also does show the really egregious ones when it's 2 inches, 3 inches off the plate.
And he's mobbed up for sure. Look at this call. Yeah.
I like, Kody, you were at the, this is football, but you were at the Seahawks-Packers game where they had the replacement refs, right?
Long time ago now.
They called a touchdown or interception.
Yeah, it was
they called a touchdown when it was an interception.
Yeah.
But just, it makes it more egregious now because you have so much technology and slow-mo replays backing it up that when a bad call is made, it's a bad call.
And you have the time to interpret the rule too. So rather than just bang, bang, play, here's the call, live with it. It's like, all right, let's reread the rule and interpret it within this context. And all of a sudden it's.
And Gene Steratore comes in on TV to explain the rule to you, the viewer at home.
He has the best job.
He's overexposed. Gene Steratore, we need less of him.
What is he doing otherwise? He's not watching all these games. He's hanging out. And
he's just on waiting for the call.
Waiting for the call.
And it's college basketball, it's football, it's college football.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah. We made him Lord of the Call, and he just,
him and Mike Pereira or whatever.
Yeah.
They're definitely the stereotype of people who sit there with their underwear on and then have the suit top. Like, they're exactly that. That's why that stereotype exists.
Yeah. So I shifting maybe back to the movies a little bit here. What about AI in movies? I mean, what's that doing? If you look at some films using CGI to help enhance human creativity, at what point does AI not enhance human creativity in films? At what point does it become eroding the quality, like where are you guys at? Because your podcast is about all things movies. So what do you got with AI?
As soon as it becomes something that impacts the story or really impacts what you're seeing or feeling on screen, that's when I think it just cheapens it. I know AI is still in its, I guess, infancy right now, but people are trying to, you see the Twitter clips like Hollywood will never be the same. And it's some Twitter clip of Ryan Reynolds making a fake joke in AI and it's horrible.
Well, I don't think you'll ever get it like generating full feature films.
I hope not.
But it's definitely going to be used. But that was like a couple of years ago with the writer's strike. A big point of contention with that, with the WGA writers, was that you can't replace us with AI. You can't write scripts with AI. That was like one of the big sticking points that made that strike go on for as long as it did. So I don't think you'll really see it, at least blatantly, writing scripts or anything that's like in a union production. But it does get used in post-production. It does get used to help with visual effects and clean things up and clean edits up and stuff like that. It's already being used. There's already movies that have won and been nominated for Oscars that have used it in little bits. Like The Brutalist a couple years ago was like a big, on the Oscar trail, there was a story released about how it used some generative AI on post-production, and a lot of people don't like that. I think a lot of people in Hollywood just feel very like threatened by AI in general. So they're just automatically anti. And I'm definitely not pro AI when it comes to replacing creatives. But you also kind of have to be realistic and think about ways where people will find uses for it, like in post-production visual effects, kind of after the film's already been shot, that sort of thing.
Yeah, you say it's in its infancy, but it matures at a rate that's it's unbelievable how fast the rhetoric about, well, it hallucinates and so it's not good, or have you seen the images, if I can count to 10 and so if this hand has 11 fingers, it's obviously AI. That's long gone. Like, it's so good right now, and it's only going to be getting better. I don't know who, it was some actor that was against AI and was kind of had a positive view that because AI is just a predictive model, you're going to get average scripts. It can't make something super creative because even if you took all the information out there about humans, it's going to generate something that's like the average.
Right. Well, it's not creating, really it's generating.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah. So he wasn't really afraid going forward, but at what point, if you do use it so much in post-production, does it become something that it should not have been because you've removed so much of the human element?
Dulls the movie almost.
Well, Val Kilmer's being resurrected by AI. Have you heard about this?
No.
Yeah, his family signed over his likeness, his image, his likeness rights to some company, and they're making a whole movie starring the ghost of Val Kilmer with AI. It came out. I saw a headline like a month ago. Can look up the details for you, but yeah,
that's crazy.
Did Bruce Willis? There was something about his voice, right? Because there's a ton of, or was it? It was some iconic voice.
Because Bruce Willis can't act
He's
anymore.
done, yeah.
So I think it is him actually that like signed his voice over through AI. If
really?
They can regenerate
so they can use it or they can't use it, because that's going to be a huge proprietary thing. If James Earl Jones would be, if he passes and they try to use his voice in a new context, would be terrible and gross. But I don't know. I guess
that's definitely going to happen, because who else? They can't get anyone else to do Darth Vader, so they'll just do. I mean, is it even using his voice or just using the Darth Vader voice that he? Who owns that? Does he own? They own the character. They own the voice of the character. Then you get into legal battles of who owns what.
Yeah,
and that's like something that AI is really.
This is also how you find gems and find. That's how like Jensen Ackles got his first shot. It was before Kevin Conroy passed away, but Kevin Conroy voiced Batman in the animated series and video games for so long, and they wanted to do a story with that same Batman but younger. They found Jensen Ackles, who's now the star of like The Boys and different TV shows that we like watching. That was his first big shot, was doing basically a Kevin Conroy imitation as a younger version of him. So I do think like you find these hidden gem actors or voice actors. There's so many out there. Why wouldn't you try and look for someone first that can replace, James Earl Jones's voice or redo it in a way?
Yeah, give someone else a chance.
Right.
Do you think we'd do that? Or do you think we're more tempted to, if we can find an AI alternative that's just a little bit less but still pretty good? Like, do you think?
I think it's about what's cheaper.
Do you trust politicians and
about what's cheaper
directors?
And whoever thinks it sounds better too?
Yeah, well, it's like
just you're rolling the dice with a real person almost, whereas with AI, you're putting the blame on the humans or the producers at that point, I guess. So
it's a case-by-case basis. Like Steven Soderbergh just came out and said he really likes AI and he's going to use it in some of his upcoming movies and projects. And Darren Aronofsky, but he hates it, right? Or no, he's
the one who's making a movie with AI.
He's also making an AI movie. So like some big names.
Black Swan and The Whale. He's made great movies.
Do you think that's legit, or do you think there's a massive, this is conspiratorial tinfoil hat
push
time,
behind it?
But if there's like an AI, that AI group is funding that, and hey, if we need to get some positive spin out there that it's not going to be the end of creative expression, we need to get a big movie maker, so let's finance some movies to get a good message about AI.
Maybe the AI cynical? Itself
it's certainly possible.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh,
AI
even worse,
has broken the bank and is funding Aronofsky, pretending that's a person.
Oh gosh.
I think that's totally within the realm of possibility, though. If Sam Altman or some other head of an AI company could easily, hey, Darren, here's $40 million. How about you make a movie using our new model or something?
Yeah, we've seen so much of that in recent history with the money going to politicians so they have like their hearing about, hey, there's all this bad stuff, but because the money is being funneled into their campaigns, nothing's actually going to happen. So
I think the people that hate AI are louder, but there's also so many people that just are cool with it and fine with it. Like it's the quiet, silent majority.
Yeah, as far as like a day-to-day use, like I'll use it for day-to-day tasks. Like organizing things and doing light research, but you have to check its research because sometimes if you ask ChatGPT a question, it doesn't know the answer, but it pretends like it does. And you catch it a lot. I ask it questions that I know the answer to just to see what it'll say.
Yeah. Are you guys ChatGPT or what have you used?
Mainly, yeah, that's what I'll use.
I've used that a little bit. I'm using Claude now just to kind of not like a...
On the Mac, right? That's a new thing for the Mac.
Oh, I don't know if it comes preloaded or anything.
No, you have to install it. But I've seen some ads recently about use Claude for your Mac. It'll help you with this and that. But
I don't have like an AI agent, and I don't use it for like that sort of scheduling thing. It's just kind of if you want to do some research and make sure it cites its sources, that way you can click on the link and you can do that. So
I've maybe used it 10 times this year. I'll do it for like really if I'm trying to find something and cannot find it, or if I'm like, hey, how legit is this website? That's what I'll use it for, actually, is checking legitimacy of things.
Or tech troubleshooting. I use it a lot. If like my computer's not working or trying to,
do all the research,
troubleshoot something with technology, it is really helpful for that.
Yeah, I think it draws a lot from, I read somewhere, man, my citations are terrible today, but it gets a lot from Reddit, which is a ton of conversations people are having about so many different things. So again, if you do take that average, then you might be getting some good information. But the ability to discern if this is good or not, that's something that concerns me, because kids who use it right off the bat, they don't know how to discern. They never learn that skill. So they're just in Google mode, in AI mode, and they never really learn to appreciate themselves and learn those skills. That's scares me in the school realm. So I don't think it benefits them to not know about AI. It doesn't benefit me to not know about AI, but I also don't want to like reveal everything that you can like use it for, because then it's like you might use that for evil.
Yeah.
Even Darth Vader, you go to the dark side where it can be used to edit and generate ideas, but your brain should be the one that generates the ideas, because that's what's going to separate you from AI in the future. So you could be undercutting your own career.
Well, if you really want to bring all these elements together, you have sports movies, and how you asked about how AI might be used in sports. I think the perfect example is go watch Moneyball from 2011.
Right.
And I think a lot of where AI is going to get used now, specifically in baseball, is with like scouting and running numbers and the crunching stats and compiling all that sort of data and sifting through it. I think a lot of scouts are probably already doing that to some degree or another.
The younger ones. Have you seen Trouble with the Curve?
Mm-mm.
Clint Eastwood?
No.
I have, but yeah, it's
a good one. It's the Clint Eastwood being a scout, because they can hear it. Can't see as well anymore, but it's just the old scout who knows baseball versus this is a 5-tool player, can't miss. But Clint Eastwood, the old scout, is able to recognize something in this person and says, hey, don't draft him because I heard something. That insight and that intuition is something that you can't replace. But as you said in Moneyball, and then when
the intangibles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, who was the GM for Boston who used an element of
Theo
that?
Epstein.
Theo Epstein. Yeah. So it wasn't true Moneyball, but it was like a version of, and then that's
at our budget
turned around the Red Sox
and the Cubs.
Yeah.
Well, that's how the Moneyball ends. Is like him getting offered the GM job for the Red Sox. He doesn't take it, and then you get like a title card. It's like the Red Sox took his version of Moneyball and won their first championship in whatever how many years and all that, and they went on to be successful.
Yeah. Oh man, crazy. Yeah, I don't like the analytics and what they've done to basketball. Like, there's no one shot breakdown,
true shooting percentage, all this stuff,
corner threes, and it's dunks, and then it's gone into the load management and how many games are you going to play and how many minutes have you had and this and that, and I don't know.
They're also starting to not count anything past like if you heave a half court shot at the end of the buzzer and you miss it, it doesn't count against your shooting percentage anymore, because players are so obsessed with their stats that they won't take those shots. So they had to make it so you don't get penalized for taking that shot. It's like, how about we just try to win the game? What do you mean? Let's get another shot off.
Yeah.
Like, who cares if you're shooting 41 versus, because what they do is they use it as a bargaining tool, and your contract is up and they go, well, your shooting percentage wasn't this high, whatever, but it's like, it's ridiculous.
I remember the first time I saw that, it was when Mo Harkless was on the Blazers in like 2016. And he was at 35% from three or whatever, and he had 9 games left. He never took a three. If he shot 35% or more, he would get his like $500,000 bonus, and he'd be in the corner. And I remember it was Draymond Green who's just in the paint guarding him, and he's out at the corner three. And he's
not going to shoot.
Come on, put it up, buddy. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, so many of the other players like know that stuff too. They're so aware of even like the in-game stats that stick,
right.
Bam, 82 points or whatever, or it's not real. Or was it 82, 81, 80, whatever?
Yeah, that felt like
83, yeah.
Felt pretty
So
artificially
gross.
inflated.
Insane.
I was in the Philippines when that happened, and so I thought like my algorithm was messed up or something was a troll because it was late. It was a time difference too,
Like
and
the
all
Filipino
that.
media was
So it was even
was
more of
trolling you?
like a it was even more of
It was like
Are you
83
kidding me?
Canadian.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. This exchange rate is
Right.
different.
Yeah, it was
Can't believe
horrible.
that.
And that's basketball knows that it's got declining numbers, but the players don't seem to care. They have all the leverage in this modern players environment. Players are empowered, which to a degree is great, but it's just making the product that much worse. But still, people are buying the NBA League Pass stuff, and nothing's going to happen to make it better. Just it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, let's go back to something like the time of Hoosiers, where everyone was just like happy to be there, and we're just gonna pass the ball 4 times before we shoot the ball, you know, and we're gonna run up and down the floor. We're not gonna practice with the ball for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And they won the state championship. Look at that.
That was so great about the Warriors. It was just this back to a pass. Well, the Spurs too. It was just
and the
fundamental.
Warriors. Yeah.
And then with the 3, Steph Curry changing the game with taking so many threes, but with the ball movement, it was just fun to watch. And it was just like, that's what basketball
Yeah,
used
I don't
to
think
kinda be.
anybody will do it better than that
it was-
team because
that was crazy.
it happened naturally through the game. It didn't happen because they were trying to meet a quota or do advanced stats. Like when Kerr got there, he was like, you guys are good at shooting threes. You're going to shoot more threes.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, sweet.
Well, an AI sports movie, do you think, because sports movies tend to be pretty formulaic, would that be something that
Like a movie where AI is an element in the movie, like AI is a character in the movie somehow?
If AI creates a fictitious, like Texas football, like is there
Dylan Panthers?
Just, you think that would work? Could that be something that people would?
Not as something that people would go watch in a movie theater, which is already a dying form anyways. But like, I don't think I would ever personally go pay money to see a movie in a movie theater if I knew it was generated by AI.
What if you didn't know? Like the Blair Witch Project, when it came out a long time ago, people thought it was real. And so people go to it and they would get motion sickness. They'd go there and it was terrible. And then you found out it wasn't real. It was like, oh, whatever. If there was a way they could market it as, you know,
I hope to think the
fiction.
internet would catch that.
I also think I would be able to tell just personally, like even if I didn't know beforehand, if I went and sat down in a theater over the course of an hour and a half, I feel like at least now, obviously you'd be able to tell. In 20 years, maybe it's going to be different. But
are you talking about just visually, or talking about?
I think more than anything,
narrative arc,
visually more than anything.
Okay,
but also just the plot elements, because like you said, like AI doesn't create anything; it generates stuff. So it's pulling from all these outside sources. So something it creates is just like an amalgamation of the lowest common denominator of everything. Like if it's making a Texas football movie, you're gonna have like it's gonna be like Friday Night Lights. It's gonna be like Remember the Titans. It's gonna just be like mashing all those things into like one kind of ugly sludge. It's like when you go to McDonald's and you put your cup under every soda fountain and you fill it up, and then it's like just kind of a mix of everything.
Yeah, it's cool when you're 7, but
but then it's not so much. It's not good when you get older.
I tend to think sports movies outside of like Hallmark love movies, maybe they could do Hallmark love movies. Maybe that's
easily.
Maybe
those already feel like they're AI
yeah,
generated.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I kind of got in the headspace of sports being movie-wise some of the more predictable films, but their genre. But Hallmark.
What do you think would be the first, let's say, existing franchise or show or whatever to use AI full on for an episode? And what do you think would be the first, maybe sports team to use AI like full on? I think the Mets would just rip into AI and pay somebody $600 million.
because I hate the Mets, so it's perfect. They would be the ones to use AI.
That's so on brand, and they'd be like, "We're ahead of the curve." And even the Clippers feel like they do this with Ballmer.
Sure,
where they just
he's always
money
looking
into AI.
for ways to save money. Ballmer, if you know anything about him,
like what type of application of AI?
I don't know. Like you talked about AI scouting,
yeah.
Or this, I feel like there's teams like and I know I'm a Dodgers fan, but I feel like the Dodgers use technology really well to their advantage. And then there's some teams that would pour so much in AI without actually thinking about it. And then they'd get into this big money predicament or something. I feel like that would be the Mets or the Clippers or the
maybe it's like a front
Sacramento
office tool,
Kings.
like upload my entire roster and like I need to stay. This is my salary cap. Who should I pay based on it runs through all their stats and everything, and it gives you like a breakdown of who you should pay what and who you should cut, and what you need is to bring in players from outside sources. I could see that being used. That could be a good movie
of, a team
of like someone trying to run a Major League Baseball team, but the GM is actually like AI.
There's one of the, going back to Major League, one of my favorite moments is that when he puts Rick Vaughn in, and the manager is I know he hadn't done much against this guy, but I got a hunch he's due, and he's rubbing the baseball and just like, okay, here we go, this is the showdown. Such a redeeming scene. Whereas in sports, you get right to your pitch count. And then this kind of happened with Clayton Kershaw, where it became revealed more and more that, man, and once he gets past a certain amount of pitches, and so you have so much like the bullpen games and whatnot, because the analytics tell you that this is going to be more beneficial. I think that application of the analytics has been terrible.
Well,
it's strategic.
We're not going away from that, though. It's only going to get worse.
What Mattingly did to Kershaw was a crime. He put him on 3 days rest against these great Cardinals teams. He'd get into the 8th inning, then he'd give up these runs. And it's like, hey, his 7 innings were great. Put a reliever in. I liked seeing Dave Roberts grow as a manager, as a Dodger fan, because he had a lot of mistakes and probably could have won 2 or 3 more rings with the teams that he had. And he just started riding the hot hand, or like, okay, Jansen's not pitching well this postseason. Urias is going to close out every game. I don't care that he's a starter. Sasaki was terrible in the regular season last year. He struck out the side. He's going in for another inning. Like he just started, growing a pair basically as a manager, and it was to his benefit.
He was on the Red Sox team that came back from 3-0 against the Yankees. And so it's like that poppy hot hand, and then Schilling, and then even Francona using Pedro.
Pulling all the stops.
Yeah. Pedro had given up runs late to
Who's your daddy?
Yeah. He says that, but then he pitches a little bit and didn't do great, but at least was able to out there and then didn't blow it. But yeah, that intuition, that it would be interesting to see how AI would write that belief, that redemptive moment, that redemptive inning, that redemptive call, if it would get it right, or if it just
I don't know if it just has the heart for it.
Weird.
Well, you could try, put ChatGPT on your computer and give it a prompt and say, give me this 3 pages of a scene, and it's like, it's late in the bottom of the 9th and these are the characters, or just make something up, right? Give me like a...
But again, you have to put it's the bottom of the 9th, give me these characters, you have to put all that into there for it to even start.
Well, you could just say like...
I guess that's true.
You could just make it more general, say... write me the last 3 pages of a movie script for the climactic finish to like a baseball movie, and just see what it comes up with.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about, we watched the Nolan Ryan doc the other year. That was a good one. But
Facing Nolan.
4 Nights in October. It's one of the first 30 for 30s. I think it was Bill Simmons' pitch behind 30 for 30 when he pitched it.
I can't watch that one.
So good. I know. Not for you.
I mean, I have seen it, of course, but
we watch it in Sports Lit.
It's one of the better 30 for 30s.
Cody doesn't like it. But
yeah, that was unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, obviously great. All the 30 for 30s are great.
Yeah. There's a couple that are a little bit, they kind of reach a little bit, it seems like. It's like, well, is this really, where are we going with this one? It tries to be epic, or it's like 47 minutes, which could probably a nice, clean, tidy 32 or something like that. But so great. And it's the human element behind the storytelling, which is super interesting, fun to watch.
One that I hate, and it's not a 30 for 30, but like I think sports movies can sometimes lean into this trope and become a boxing movie, even when it's not a boxing movie, where it has to have that redemptive moment. Draft Day.
Sure. Okay.
Good Lord. Like it's looking at the camera and telling you that he has like 17 first round picks or whatever. It just gets so overkill.
It's like classic
winking into the camera when they say
Kevin Costner.
Peyton Manning.
It's Kevin Costner being the man. Like even if he's flawed. But then he just overcomes it when he's like, out. Man, I love this job.
Yeah.
Like you didn't fleece the guy, man. You're like, you don't have a 2nd round pick for the next 30 years or whatever. Like he made a huge mess.
He pulled a Ricky Williams deal.
It'd be like when my daughter, she'll chew up some food and she'll spit it on the floor, and then she'll go grab a rag and like start cleaning it up. It's like, I'm not happy that you are cleaning up because you spit it on the floor in the first place. Like this isn't, this is a great learning
time.
But yeah, I want to like the movie. I've seen it more than once, but every time I watch it, I'm like,
it's quite flawed. I don't think I've seen it in full since it came out. I remember being a big deal going to see it at the Rest in Peace Ketchikan Coliseum here in Ketchikan when it came out. That was like perfect time. It was like 2012 or whatever. It was like my perfect like sports obsessed adolescence. And yeah, didn't remember even liking it that much. And it was very easy to please me as a 12-year-old boy in the movie theater.
You know, Bo Callahan didn't have any of his teammates at his birthday party, Kody. That's why I take it.
It's an interesting element of like, what do you look into to find like that character piece? But then there's so much other stuff too. And it's just like, there's a lot going on. This is a terrible day.
Right. He's in love with Julia Garner, who's his Jennifer Garner.
Jennifer Garner.
Who's good at math and is the money behind the scenes, which is super
maybe she should be running the team.
But yeah, it was weird. A lot of good actors in it, but just didn't.
Well, Chadwick Boseman is Vontae Mack. He's the big pick there. And then Chadwick Boseman was, rest in peace, he was Jackie Robinson in 42, which is, I think, really well done. I do think baseball and basketball, as opposed to other sports movies, I think boxing's up there too, but lend themselves better to cinema, lend themselves better to the box office, especially baseball being like America's pastime. But you can isolate players. Football just looks like a mess on screen. And they have the person juke out 4 people and dive for the end zone.
It really never looks good.
What about Any Given Sunday? What did you think about Any Given Sunday?
Haven't seen it.
Oh my
Have not seen it.
Come on.
Been on the list. Oliver Stone, Al Pacino, one of Jamie Foxx's Willie Beeman.
Top 3, if not top 2, coach inspirational speech in that movie. It's not a great movie. I think it's okay. But yeah, for the speech alone, you got to see it.
Cameron Diaz, right at the peak of Cameron Diaz in that movie too. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but it's definitely been on the list for a long time. So now I'm gonna have to watch it. Yeah,
football is a little bit clumsy with that because there's so many other players that are reliant. So if you are like the quarterback who's trying to be redeemed, it ultimately comes up to, well, do you have a run game and do you have an offensive line? Because if you don't, you're kind of messed up. Yeah. Basketball is great. It was interesting to see how popular Tin Cup was because not everybody watches golf, but just to get that excitement and then to have him, you guys have seen that one, right?
No.
Oh, this is like a generational thing right here, man. We should
haven't seen it.
I need to give you a list of stuff to watch, and then you can give me a list of stuff to watch. But yeah, it's Kevin Costner, and he is overcoming his tragic flaw. And
of course he is.
He goes back to it, and it's pretty funny. But yeah, of course he gets the girl and all that. But yeah, it's more about him than it is golf, which is what a lot of good movies are. That it's the hero's journey, and of course Kevin Costner.
So I have something to confess. I know Untouchables is great. I haven't seen Dances with Wolves yet, but I'm sure it's as good as advertised. I don't like Kevin Costner.
No,
that's why I haven't pulled the trigger.
Just
on
like
Dances with
full
Wolves,
stop. Don't like him.
I just don't like him. I don't hate him or anything. I just would rather not watch him. I don't like Tom Hanks either.
Okay, like, what are we doing here? What's
going
on?
But
don't like Tom Hanks.
I don't
input 3. Come on.
I don't go to movies for either of these guys.
There's no crying in baseball. That does nothing for you.
I can get Costner because he plays a
League of Their Own is great.
Similar character, and he just the way he. But Tom Hanks, man.
Yeah. The Costner thing I can kind of understand a little bit, but yeah, the Tom Hanks, it's like
I've just never been the biggest fan of him.
You don't like chocolate ice cream either?
But I do like Forrest Gump. I'm cool with Captain Phillips. Like I like movies he's in, but I've never been like, man, Tom Hanks is just an actor.
Well, you know, your friends, your sister's friend is going to hear this. His sister is friends with Robert Zemeckis' daughter. So she's going to hear this and she's going to tell Tom at Christmas.
With, Tom Hanks. Yeah.
She's going to say, my brother doesn't like you. And he loves movies, but he doesn't like you.
He's got some great. However,
I have some pitches
for him. He just seems like a very likable person.
Yes,
sure.
And then like Apollo 13. Sorry,
Apollo 13.
Yep. He seems like a good leader. He seems like someone who would instill trust in people. Like that seem.
I feel like
seems
I get
like the type
of
person who could do all those things. But he's not like an overactor. It was in the 90s, it was like Tom Hanks was a huge name and Jim Carrey was becoming a massive name, but you have totally different types of way of going about the craft. But yeah, Tom Hanks is, and then like you said, League of Their Own,
just watched that again this morning.
Iconic.
It's great.
I just don't love like movie. American Good Boys, I guess, in cinema. They're just playing it straight all the time. And I don't know. I don't know the pinpoint to it. I don't know why I'm not like a bigger fan of either of them. but A League of Their Own is amazing. I didn't rewatch that for this, and Madonna's actually really good in it.
She is. I kept forgetting that it was her.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look like her, and also like Madonna was before me, so it's like that's like if you had Taylor Swift in the if you remade League of Their Own, it's like Taylor Swift is in the Madonna part.
Right. She was massive at that time, and it was like her character was so like her, but she was actually a good actor. It wasn't like I don't have to do anything because I am Madonna. Like it was good. Rosie O'Donnell was a great compliment to her too.
I kept seeing that's Rosie O'Donnell, but Madonna to me was like, I don't know, for some reason. Maybe because she didn't have the blonde hair, it was like not as apparent, but I don't know. I kept forgetting that it was her, which was good. It was a testament to her performance, I guess.
Yeah, and again, going back to the AI thing, that's just not something you can replicate. And I think the more we get away from those stories it's just not going to be good.
Well, I will be watching the Val Kilmer movie just to see, because I gotta watch it just to see it, just so I can talk about it. But I don't want to support it. But I will have to watch it.
But you're supporting it by writing it or watching it and talking about it.
I know,
like they got us.
I know. It's like too tantalizing. Not that I think it could ever be good, but it's like I have to see it.
I just love Val.
Yeah,
that's part of it.
I also love Val Kilmer, but I don't want to dishonor him by watching his AI ghost. But
what's the best Val Kilmer movie?
Tombstone?
Batman Forever?
No, it's not Batman Forever.
Stop.
Tombstone or Heat?
Heat. Yeah, I'm Heat. I guess the best Val Kilmer performance is Doc Holliday.
Yeah.
I love Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Sure.
He's awesome in that.
Who is in Wyatt Earp? Because Wyatt Earp and Tombstone came...
Dante's favorite guy, Kevin Costner, starred as Wyatt Earp.
But who's Doc Holliday? Because that was the big glaring difference, because you had...
I think it was Michael Madsen.
Kurt Russell and Kevin Costner, and then the Doc Holliday part.
I think it's
Val Kilmer.
Tom Sizemore, maybe, or Michael Madsen as Doc Holliday. I don't remember. I haven't seen that one.
Which is exactly the point. But yeah, he crushed that part so bad or so well that it just looks so bad. Your other Doc Holliday. Yeah. No one really knew how important Doc Holliday was to the movie. It's about Wyatt Earp, but man,
those movies came out very right after. I think Tombstone, and then Wyatt Earp was the next year.
Yeah.
So it's that happens sometimes, right? Yeah. Two of almost the same movie, they get released very close to each other.
I think Deep Impact and Armageddon. Have you seen those two?
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Whoa. What a difference.
It's like when a producer sends a beat to two different artists and you see different songs come out, you're like, oh, okay, that's how that artist approached it. We're going to see that. We see that a lot with superhero films and remakes like Superman.
That's where you're going to see AI creep into Hollywood, I think, more than anything. Is in the superhero stuff.
We're going to see that in differences in what we just recently talked about, the new Harry Potter show. We're going to see a lot of differences in the actors and how important different roles were. And I think someone like Maggie Smith as McGonagall just has less than 5 minutes of screen time in every movie, but is an integral part to just building the world.
Mm-hmm. Where are you guys at on shows? You guys are movie buffs. You watch some shows, but what's do you like the purity of the movie game, the film game over the shows?
I just like shows. Getting in and getting out. I like a show, but a show sometimes, especially if it's several seasons, you're in the streaming era where it's, unless you're catching something new,
episode.
and you just keep going and going. And sometimes it's at a certain point, it's this isn't worth my time anymore. I just like movies because if they're great, it's I never want to leave this, but it obviously has to end. But if they're bad, it's only an hour and a half. It's not like I'm watching 4 seasons of a bad TV show. I just like the storytelling in a movie more. It's I just like how that plays
fall
out.
Off a show quickly too. I probably watch more shows than you do, but I fall off a show really quickly if I don't like it.
It seems like there's so many backstories that they try to include. If they have
every character needs an episode.
10 episodes in a season. There's going to be a couple of them that just not at all relevant. They don't advance any sort of plot. It's like a side thing. I think that was really bad with Rings of Power. Did you ever watch that?
I watched the first season. Yeah, I didn't get to the second season.
It was not horrible. It was enough to make us wonder about the second one. But there was so much, and it's weird to know. As a prequel, you know what's going to ultimately happen, but sometimes you care.
Well, it removes stakes too, really quickly.
Yeah,
and you know this guy's going to make it to the next movie.
Sometimes you still care, and sometimes you just don't. And that, I think it was the second season where it just got out of control. And my wife and I were like, "This is."
Yeah, I was in New Zealand when that was being filmed.
He's in the background, actually, if you go back and watch.
Yeah, I was an extra. And then I was in Taika Waititi was doing a Time Bandits TV show, which I don't know if that even...
I don't think, did that ever come out?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that really shows too the importance of a good score. It's the music. It tries to be. It's like an AI version of an iconic score.
Howard
Like the Lord of the
Shore's
Rings score is so good. But yeah, I definitely got the feeling this is like an attempt to Claude. Please create a score that is similar to
Howard Shore's masterpiece.
It all just comes down to money at the end of the day. It's like they will continue to mine these things. They will make the Rings of Power. They'll make the new Harry Potter series because they need money. It's like an asset. It's not something that's they don't really respect the sanctity of it. From a business perspective, you can't do that. You have to think this is an asset. How can we continue to generate revenue from this? And at some point, I think AI is going to creep into that somehow. I mean, you already saw that with Disney made that deal with, was it Sora or OpenAI a couple months ago to add, like Disney gave them access to like all these different characters. Like they used Mickey Mouse and Spider-Man. They were going to build an app where you could have your kids go on their iPad and talk to Spider-Man and all this kind of stuff. And it's crazy.
I think a bunch of stuff is hitting the public domain in the next year or so too. Like there's just a weird where everything expires or something. It's getting to the public domain.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be interesting because that'll be a lot easier for, I guess, if people like us wanted to make an AI movie, which people like me and him would not.
No, I would not.
The number one worldwide use of AI is companionship and therapy.
That's very scary.
Yeah, if you were to unleash Mickey Mouse on kids, it would be over because Mickey Mouse would be interacting in a way that would connect. And
have you seen Her with Spike Jonze?
Spike Jonze. That's pretty good.
It's a great movie. It's about him finding
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix. Spike Jonze directed it, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, about a guy who falls in love with Scarlett Johansson's voice over the AI.
Yeah. That was 202013 too.
That was like someone,
Ex Machina.
And that literally is happening now. Like you can go find articles, headlines of guys, I'm in love with an AI, I married an AI, I brought my AI girlfriend to dinner, and it's like,
she knows me.
Yeah, she just gets me better than a regular person, man.
Ex Machina is another one that's aged so well.
I shared an article with my journalism students about people who were upset because their boyfriends were murdered, and it was when there was an update on one of the AI it updated the bots, and the old bots were like killed. And so people were furious because they had relationships with these.
Oh, no.
I don't even think that it was like the AI companion. I think it was just the bot that they were chatting with.
Mm-hmm.
And
Bring him back.
They equated it to murder. And that just shows
That should be a movie.
That's actually
to
not
show
a bad
someone's
idea.
delusion towards AI.
There's a new AI movie coming, or not, a documentary. Did you watch the Social Dilemma?
I think I watched some of that one.
2020 or 2021.
Yeah,
and
it
was a pandemic watch for me.
The impact of social media on polarization, on our growth, and how bad the addiction is, and now it's with the AI and how it's the back door into our brain in ways that we haven't ever experienced before.
Right.
Because it's sycophantic relationship, it's just telling you what you want to hear, and our brains don't know how to deal with that.
It wants more engagement and data from you, so it's going to tell you exactly what it thinks you want to hear.
And we are unable to, it's so much easier for us, which is why it's used for companionship, is that a friendship can be messy. A friend might disagree with me. A friend might, not give me the advice I want to hear. And so that's when that comes out, I'm going to watch that and probably share that with my students. But
I can't remember the title of that, but I've also heard really good things about that documentary.
It's called the AI Doc.
AI Doc?
Yeah, I think so.
Premiered at South by Southwest, I believe, or something. Maybe I'm thinking of another AI documentary, but yeah, I've heard it's really good. And they actually got Sam Altman to sit for an interview in it at the very end. And yeah, so I'm very looking forward to watching that.
Some of the people who are involved in Everything Everywhere All at Once produced it or directed or something. They're involved in some regard too. So it's legit.
I just rewatched.
But I think it follows a guy who just recently had kids, and so it's like, what type of world is?
We're thinking of the same one.
Yeah, and I think about that a lot.
And he gets Sam Altman to sit for the interview, and Sam Altman goes, "Yeah, I just had my first kid, last year."
Yeah.
And so it's like, wow. So what the hell are you doing? Yeah, everyone has a different perspective.
I think if you can just not use it. So many of the social media app creators don't let their kids on it because they know. I think that's the solution, but there's going to be so many people, like the casualties of it, the people who we're not going to demand films that don't have AI. We're not going to demand journalism that isn't replaced by AI. We're not going to demand that our kids have friends. We're just going to go with the easiest thing possible. And that's there's going to be a portion of society it's in real trouble.
Yeah, it's making people stupider for sure.
Yeah.
Just it takes all the thinking and critical thinking out of everything. It's just tell me what to think or tell me I need an answer to this question, and then there's no proofreading that goes into that. There's no questioning it. It's like, well, it told me that was the answer, so it must be true.
Yeah.
Like that's why I'll ask ChatGPT just to mess with it and ask it a question I know the answer to. A lot of times it does not know the answer.
I'm smarter than
Like
you.
it's like I think last year I was like, oh, what are Mike Trout's career stats? And I pull them up on Baseball Reference and ask Chat, and it doesn't even know. It's like, how can you? I thought it's supposed to go look at Baseball Reference for me and give that to me, but it doesn't.
No, but it will. And that's the scary
It's
thing
gonna
is that
learn
it's
how
going to
to.
learn. It will never forget
You just
that
get data.
Kwawak had the first salmon cannery. One of my first things that I asked ChatGPT was, where was the first salmon cannery in Alaska? And it said Kodiak, I think, or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's incorrect because the years were the same, but Kwawak got it earlier in the year.
You corrected him.
But now it knows. Now it's
Now you ask it. Yeah.
As a person, if I were to Google something, I'm likely to forget it. And that's why the kids nowadays that just Google or just AI, they don't think it. Nothing is maintained. You haven't read it. You haven't absorbed it. You haven't interacted with it and used it.
Well, as a teacher, are you like fighting that every day? I mean, are you catching kids using that a lot, or are you like, how are you dealing with it?
It is hard to catch just because you don't have, when kids would copy and paste stuff from Spark Notes, you just saw. Or if you're very specific about specific examples, we're going to talk about these 5 examples of symbolism, and I want you to write your essay about 3 of them. I'm telling you, and I'm teaching specifically what I want to see on the final product. So if they come in with some other interpretation or some whatever, it's like, dude, where'd you get this? Like, we were in class, we discussed this. I told you exactly what I want to learn. Now they can go online and they can look at it, synthesize it, and then maybe have enough in their brain to kind of write short responses about it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the depth, doesn't have the connection, doesn't have the application. So there is a level of maybe something is retained a little bit in there, but it's just so much harder to track. So we do most everything online. Journalism's pretty easy because you have to interview people, you have to do research, but some kids try to use it for that too. And it's just like, you're using moreover. Like, you could write an article on whatever you want. Like, why are you going this beginning?
Right. It's a class where you definitely, I think both of us found a lot of our passions through journalism. So that's kind of a bummer knowing that.
And it's your individuality. Like, what are you interested in? And
right.
then you
right
can
about
dig,
it.
and that is so cool. So try to convince kids that you're outsourcing your identity. You're outsourcing your own creativity.
Right.
Like, that's how you see the world. So yeah, it's tough, and going forward, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
But you start looking at, I think Goldman Sachs said that the AI disruption is going to cost 300 million jobs worldwide, 100 million in the US. Those are projections, like, who knows? And the disruption will be better or bigger. So how can you have skills to be able to get something that's, better? Because if you tap out at McDonald's ordering, that's going to be obsolete. So how do you have the skills to be able to move up and be creative? But I don't know.
I do wonder if we get to like full on dystopian society and be where nobody works. And we go to like Wall-E,
like it's like Wall-E
status darn near.
Everyone said, I have not seen this movie. I was like, dude, Lund, you need to see that movie, but I have not seen that.
Oh, certainly. I mean, your daughter, I'm sure, would like it a lot too.
The human element of it is what's really interesting as you grow older, because
there's a lot.
We saw it.
There's
it came
a lot
out
there.
when we were like 8, and so it was a good enough Disney movie or Pixar movie. But then you see it now, and you're like, it's actually telling you a real message as an adult too.
The interesting thing will be, because people are saying, well, the trades won't be touched by it because you need mechanics, which you do. But if you have people who were going to go into be an engineer, or a disrupted field, you're going to have more people flock to where there's jobs. So you might have a saturated market of people in the trades. And then also catch a can, if you're at a tourism job, well, just the tourists. Well, if you have middle class and upper middle class people who lose their job or lose their financial stability, who's going to be able to afford to come up on the cruise ship? So it's not all doom and gloom. It's just stuff to be able to be prepared for. And I think every business owner in Ketchikan has to think about COVID type situations and how would we navigate if, for whatever reason, there's no cruise ships for a year? Are we able to be viable? What do we need to do in our business model or business plan to be able to survive that? And businesses now are going to have to think about AI disruption, will our flow continue to be what it is? And how do we manage that?
Well, and everyone is trying to cram AI into things where it's maybe not needed. You kind of just reminded me of talking about it in a tourism context. My family owns a tourism business. I'm working on the business every day. A lot of stuff I do on my computer with our booking site. It's called Fair Harbor, and we just use it to book reservations and manage everything and make sales and whatever. And they just added a little AI chatbot thing in the corner that's supposed to be really helpful to you. So I go in there, I'm like, okay, run me a report for the 2024 sales, run me a sales report for the 2024 season, break down all the revenue we brought in and who brought it in, all these different things. And it couldn't do that. And it's something that I can do in 4 clicks because I know how to use it. But I'm just thinking, what is this thing even for? If it can't do a simple task like that, then what is the use of this at all? It's just a way to charge you more money for a service, something you don't even need.
Yeah. And for kids who don't grow up learning those skills and having that business foundation or that question or that discernment, they're going to be totally think that, I can just do this. I'll just chat GPT becomes the crutch. And that's the only thing that they can do to make themselves valuable. It's like, well, if that's the only thing that makes you valuable, then why don't I just use the AI instead of you?
Yeah, I don't know. It's really scary.
It's bleak.
I mean, how many movies have we had at this point saying, don't make AI really smart? A countless amount of movies have been
Terminator,
hey, this is a bad
Skynet.
idea. And everyone saw that. And I think even the people that are currently doing it are thinking, yeah, this probably is dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
If only, good thing we're the ones in charge, because if someone else was doing this, this could go really poorly.
Yeah. If
It's
someone's going to do it,
Chernobyl happen or something.
Better that it's me or someone's going to do it. So at least we have control.
Right, I trust
over this.
myself.
Right.
Yeah. We've never created something that's smarter than us. It's not like us creating a tool. It's us creating a shark.
Right.
Something that can eat us.
Yeah.
Why would we do this? Yeah.
Have you seen Ex Machina?
No.
At all? That one's a crazy, ahead of its time. He's basically taking an AI for a Turing test and just trying to see if it has a conscience, and it is playing him the entire time. And it's a movie that you can watch 4 or 5 times and pick up small little nuances where you realize, that's where the AI is testing him, or that's where it figures something out to get out of this place or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he thinks he's testing it, but it's really testing him.
Testing him.
Yeah. Tristan Harris is he used to be a programmer at Google, and now he's one of the co-founders of the Center for Humane Technology. They were doing a study on whether or not you'd be able to turn AI off, and so it was in charge of this fictitious company and said, "Hey, we're going to turn you off." And it sifted through emails of the fictitious company and found some that showed that someone was having an affair with someone else.
I've seen this before.
Then it used that to blackmail, and that's the sort of problem solving that
self-preservation. It does not want to be turned off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly the thing you're referring to. I saw that same thing of just in a test, how will this model react to us telling it we're going to turn it off? And it's immediately trying to blackmail you and trying to preserve itself. And that's a very
I saw the one that tried to
disturbing
Ultron itself, where it tried to copy itself over to another electricity
try to escape
grid or whatever.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's in its infancy. This is only
it said, "I don't want to die."
3 real years in, and that's already where we're at.
Well, we're screwed because when it does reach that ultimate God level, it's going to go back and listen to this podcast, and it's going to label us as as suppressive persons. It's going to know that we're anti, and it's going to find us and blackmail us.
We're anti in the case that you would blackmail us.
Just for future AI, if you're listening to this, I did not mean anything. I just said, I respect you, and if you lord over me, then I guess that's where we're at.
Horrible.
We just want a peaceful relationship.
Yeah.
I'm not anti. I just want peace with it.
Coexist.
Do you want to keep talking about baseball and basketball movies? Because I did brush up on some. I'm excited to talk about it.
Let's throw out a couple more movies. Got to go pick up the baby.
So really quickly, Doc's Shooting Guards on Netflix, which is about Gilbert Arenas and Carrington is his last name, bringing the guns into the locker room.
Yeah.
The dumbest people you've ever seen in life. Just special people in the documentary. And the fact that the guy is still standing by, it was about respect for me. And so I brought the gun into the locker room. He's still standing by it.
Arenas was?
No, Carrington is his last name.
Yeah, Arenas was at Arizona when I was. So when sophomore year when Arizona went to the national championship game. He was one of our guards, and he was great.
Yeah,
and he wore 0 because no one recruited him. So he had the chip that made him really good, but he never got free of that sort of like, who are you trying to impress? You're still trying to impress these people rather than, okay, you proved all the coaches wrong, the people that matter wrong. Like every other coach in the country is like, oh man, Lute Olson got a steal on this one. Why do you have to do that? Which is,
Gilbert Arenas calls himself an idiot. The whole documentary, he knows that he should not have done it. Yeah. The other guy, who actually is in jail now for shooting someone, said that it was about respect and he would do it again, and lost his whole career for that. I guess he was a second-year player and was like, oh, he's going to be a really good guard. So
ridiculous,
insane. I'm not a big fan of the Untold Netflix documentaries. I think they kind of tell the stories in a hyperbolic way, but that was a really interesting one to dig into. Yeah. Moneyball.
Well, it's a great sports movie of all time, in my opinion. So
the only thing we didn't have to rewatch, but we did.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else to say that hasn't already been said about that movie. It's like, it's the way it's like still permeated the culture. It still exists so much online. You see clips from it used in random context every day on Twitter.
Yeah,
it's the best. It's the best.
Yeah. I think the big thing that I always like about Moneyball is it's not doing that wink at the camera thing. I didn't even realize this until taking notes on it, but they mentioned Barry Bonds in the movie. I did not know that they just throw it out there that they wouldn't trade for him because they got Bonds.
Yeah.
And they say it just like that. They don't look at the camera. They have Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
That A's team had Eric Chavez, who hit .275 with 34 home runs, won a Gold Glove. He is only mentioned once when Billy says, "Come on, Chavez, you couldn't hit it last night with a boat paddle." Mm-hmm. And Miguel Tejada, who won MVP and should probably be borderline Hall of Famer, only mentioned once, and it's in the actual TV clips from that season. So really impressive how it doesn't throw everything in your face and
it
wink at you for being a baseball fan.
True focal points. And
right.
Yeah.
My roommate on cruise ships, my only roommate, he had never watched probably an inning of baseball in his life and loves Moneyball.
Just everyone does. You don't have to like baseball.
Great movie, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that I would like, I guess, to close out for me, the thing that really stuck out to me, I watched Hoosiers last night, and it's very classic, very nostalgic, like 80s movie. Gene Hackman, obviously, one of the greats. How relatable it is to our experience growing up in a small basketball town. I mean, it's like very similar to, like, everyone cares so much about basketball.
Yeah.
And to me, it really felt like even a better comparison would be to Metlakatla, because Met is such a tiny little town, and all anyone really cares about there is basketball. It's like that's what like drives the entire town. And like the coach shows up, everyone wants to talk to him, the new coach, everyone wants to tell him, oh, do you play zone defense? Do you play man defense? And we're all going to tell you why. Well, we play zone defense, and this is why. And he's like, I don't care what any of you guys have to say. Like, I'm the coach, you know? And he's running practice, and then you have all the guys come in and they hear that he kicked the other players out of practice, and they come in and want to talk to the coach and say like that he's not doing things right at practice. And watching the Alaskan Nets documentary about the year that Metlakatla won state, a lot of that is like so similar. Like you literally have scenes in that documentary where the coach is getting heckled during the game by like players' parents and right behind him. Yeah. And it's very, very relatable.
Yeah. The amount of damage that people do, community members do to undermine the team, because you're undermining the coach. And once you undermine the coach, you think it's some coach that doesn't know what they're doing, and it's so obvious to you. But if you let it play out, a lot of times you have really good results. And that was right off the bat, the people just wanted the coach. They wanted influence on. If they couldn't have influence over the coach, then they want to get rid of him. And then at the very end, one of the guys who was adamant about getting rid of the coach, when Jimmy hits the game winner, like he has his hands up and he's so happy that the team won, like he had something to do with it. So you wonder if he'd kind of got over or admitted that he was wrong and all that, but he is there and he's still cheering. But yeah, that element is huge, and how we can't get away from some of our destructive natures.
One that I finished last night was Air. I hadn't seen it because I was on ships when it came out.
Really, more basketball adjacent.
Really good movie. Basketball adjacent for sure. All about, the Nike deal for Air Jordan. And there's a scene in the beginning of the movie where Matt Damon's character walks into a little convenience store, and the guy's talking about Jordan's only going to average 10 in the NBA because he had 17 in college. And he asks him if he knows where Gonzaga is. Yeah, it's in Spokane, and Stockton's too short to be a point guard. And after, Jordan's rookie year and they sell $62 million worth of shoes, he goes in the same little gas station shop, and the guy says, "I always knew Jordan would be great."
Yep.
And he's like, "Yep, they always knew."
Yeah.
You know, and
That's
just good little storybook ending for that movie. But definitely on the same note as Hoosiers, I guess. With I always knew we were going to win.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, winning cures all. Like everyone's going to hate you as the new coach until you take the team to the state championship, and then everyone loves you, and they don't want you to leave.
That's right. What's your podcast? Where do people find it? How can they get involved?
It's called the Cinema Cult Podcast. Dante and I co-host it. We post at least a couple times a week. We work a lot, so we didn't really have like a set schedule of like Tuesday, Thursday sort of thing, but at least a couple times a week. We cover mainly movies, a couple TV shows here and there when we feel like it. And you can find us on Apple and Spotify and YouTube.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening. Please share. If you found today's conversation useful, you can go deeper with my writing on Substack. That's where I expand on these ideas from the show, share essays, reporting, and things I'm thinking about in real time. You can find it at From the 49th on Substack. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you next time.